Kirk Cousins used to throw footballs to Stefon Diggs until Diggs decided that I can't handle Kirk Cousins anymore. And don't accept any explanation other than the moment the Vikings extended Kirk Cousins' contract, Stefon Diggs decided I need to get the hell out of here. The timeline is undeniable. Cousins extension announced. Diggs tweets his way out of Minnesota. I think the exact same day.
I think it was the same day. I think it was. I was going to say that. I believe you're right. It was the same day.
And I'm sure I've said a time or two over the last 3 years as a cautionary word to the Bills, and this applies to any team. If you trade for a guy who has become so disgruntled with his current team that he wants to be traded, you need to accept the very real risk that he is eventually going to become that disgruntled with you. And he's going to want out of your team. That whatever it is that caused him to be willing to take a stand and move on, to go against that whole mindset of team, he says, I want out of here. That is going to get turned on you at some point unless you keep him happy every step of the way. If it ever wobbles, you got a problem. And are we surprised in the grand scheme of things, Chris, after what we saw happen in the 27-10 loss by the Buffalo Bills to the Cincinnati Bengals in the divisional round, where they didn't yet again get back to the AFC Championship, the game that they lost in Kansas City where Diggs was out there, hands on hips, watching the Chiefs celebrate the receipt of the Lamar Hunt Trophy, what we saw in that game against the Bengals where the ball doesn't go to him, the cause is already pretty much lost anyway. Yeah. He starts gesticulating, and then you get on the sideline, and he's in Josh Allen's face, and the arm's thrown out, and Allen doesn't react, and we haven't seen Diggs or heard from Diggs in Buffalo since then. Not there for the voluntary offseason program, and then yesterday when it's time for the mandatory minicamp, he's not there either. And I really didn't, because we talked yesterday, who's even having mandatory minicamps? The only way we know is by the guys who don't show up. And I wasn't even thinking Diggs wasn't going to be there.
I wasn't
because
either.
what happens is when you talk about Diggs not being at the voluntary OTAs, the Bills Mafia fights back and says, it's no big deal. Why are you talking about this? It's no big deal. He'll be there when he has to be there. Quit talking about this. It's no big deal. It's voluntary. Quit talking about it. You're trying to stir up shit. Quit talking about it. So I wasn't even thinking, oh, okay, fine. I'll defer to Bills Mafia. He'll be there for the mandatory minicamp. And then, oh, wait, he's not.
I was like you, hey, maybe there's, a guy that's a little disgruntled how the year ended last year, whatever. Wide receivers, as we know, all the time, work out on their own. They got their own coaches. They want to be explosive, do all that. But I thought he'd be there for mandatory minicamp. Now it's worrisome. It's worrisome. Of course it is. He's their best offensive player other than the quarterback, Josh Allen. He's the only guy that we talk about all the time that we feel like can go above and beyond on that offense outside the playbook or what's delivered, right? And then you're talking about the importance of the year. You mentioned it. It's a team that keeps knocking at the door. There's pressure up there in Buffalo. You think they could be on the hot seat if they don't deliver this year. I understand those thoughts. I get where you're coming from. And then it's the AFC. And the AFC East, as loaded as it is throughout, this is troubling. I mean, again, it's troubling. Where's it go? And now it's going to filter into training camp, and this is going to be an issue that they're going to have to talk about and deal with here over the next month or two.
And it happened in a way that it usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Let's go through the timeline. We first caught wind of Stefon Diggs not being at mandatory minicamp when Coach Sean McDermott told the world that Diggs was not there. Here's Coach McDermott.
Steph is not here. Everybody else is here at the current time.
How concerned are you about that?
Oh, very concerned. Yeah, very concerned. Listen, I respect everyone's questions, and if they want to know about our team right now, I'm not going to get into that. So we'll talk about practice. Happy to do that. Happy to answer those questions. We'll move forward from there.
Yeah. Look, that started it.
Yeah.
Steph isn't here, and he's very concerned. Okay, so in the aftermath of that, this is where it started to get weird. Adam Schefter of ESPN spoke to agent Adisa Bakari, who represents Stefon Diggs.
Yeah.
And Schefter tweeted that Bakari said his client is in Buffalo, has been in Buffalo since yesterday morning, took his physical, met with the head coach and GM the past 2 days, and the Pro Bowl receiver will be there for the entirety of the minicamp. So, all right. And look, I'm trying not to be an asshole here, but how can you just throw that out with no scrutiny, no curiosity, no context, no effort to reconcile what Sean McDermott had just said? McDermott said he's not here, and I'm very concerned. Bakari said he's there, and he'll be there for all of minicamp. It cries out for something more. And Schefter never had a follow-up. He never had any effort to reconcile. And it's just like, oh, McDermott says he's not here. That's one tweet. Next tweet, Bakari says he is there. Life goes on. Let's just keep moving. Hold on a second. This is what we do. We try to find the answers to questions that people want to have answered. So I immediately texted Derek Boyko, the PR director for the Bills, and I said, can you help me understand what the hell is going on here? When you've got McDermott says he's not there and the agent says he is there. So what the Bills told me is he was there Monday for the physical. Tuesday, he was in the building.
Right.
But he left before practice started, which, if that's ever happened before with a player at a mandatory minicamp, I must have had an out-of-body experience, and I don't remember it, like being at the Taylor Swift show.
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody ever showing up for mandatory minicamp and then leaving.
It's rare.
That's what Diggs did, according to the Bills. And there's been no pushback from Bakari. There's been no follow-up tweet by Schefter where he basically acts as the spokesperson for the agent. And this isn't the first time he's done that. This is part of the grift. Say whatever the agent wants me to say, post it on my Twitter page, and then I know I'll get whatever information I need. Gimme. I need my information. I need to be 5 minutes ahead of the announcement. That's the game. That's why. For people out there wondering why Schefter would have these two conflicting tweets with no effort to harmonize them, he does not want to undermine his ability to be able to tell the world 5 minutes before the announcement what's happening. That's it. And that's not a criticism. That's not me being an asshole. That's truth. Because I think if somebody didn't understand how the sausage is made, they'd say, boy, this is weird. He's got one tweet that says the guy's not here, and he's got one tweet that says the guy is. Which is it?
Yeah.
He's not there. He was there, and then he left. And that just makes the mystery even more confounding to anyone trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it is a little confusing. Schefter, hey, he's a guy that's his business and what he does is built on relationships, right? So, yeah, he's got to be careful there. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know where he
doesn't gotta be. He's choosing to be.
Well, he's choosing to be. Sure. He's choosing to be here. And I think, when you see McDermott and then you hear from the agent, he puts those both out there. And then from that point, maybe he's like the rest of us, where he's just like, wait, but I don't know, where this meets in the middle or what happened or exact details there.
But you go find out.
No.
You go find out.
Yeah, I know.
You're a reporter. You go find out.
Maybe he couldn't find out. Maybe that's just the plain and simple fact of the matter.
Text the Bills.
But either
text
way,
the Bills like I did. If they listen to me, they'll listen to him.
Yeah, I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I can't answer for Adam Schefter. You can deal with that. You can tweet at him later, and you guys can have a conversation.
No. Look, I didn't. I refrained from doing so yesterday. I was good. I behaved. But you know what? I didn't think that it was all going to blow up on me when we started the show. But it just bothers me because I think of the audience. My commitment is to the audience. My commitment isn't to whatever relationship I have with an agent who can give me information so I can get it out there 5 minutes before the announcement. My relationship is with the audience. I want to be straight and true and informative to the audience. And the audience, if you just look at Schefter's Twitter page, has no idea what the hell's going on with Stefon Diggs right now.
No.
And there's been no update since yesterday. So come to PFT and we'll tell you exactly what's going on. What's going on is Bakari was full of crap. See, Schefter doesn't want to say Bakari's full of crap because then he possibly burns that bridge and he doesn't get the information that he needs from Bakari. I can say it because I don't care. Bakari's full of crap when he says he's there. He's not there. He left. Or the client's lying to the agent, which is another issue altogether that needs to be resolved.
Well, I think that to me would be the obvious. I don't think Bakari would just want to throw out lies and then look like a liar. To me, this would be more in the way it lines up and the way we talked about it and explained with Stefon Diggs. This seems like something happened, a conversation, a feeling happened, and he said, screw this. I'm walking out of here. I've had enough. I don't like this. I don't know if it's a conversation with Josh Allen, the GM, the head coach, both or whatever, but I get the sense that it caught Bakari by surprise too. He's probably like, hey, the game plan is you're at minicamp. They probably talked this weekend. Hey, you're going, blah, blah, blah. He might have talked to him on Monday. Hey, you're there. Okay, great. Hey, yeah, okay, yeah, you're going to go tomorrow for the meeting? Oh, yeah, cool. You're going tomorrow? So he probably thought everything was good. And then he probably can't get in contact with Diggs because maybe he's heated or whatever else or why he leaves. And this happens. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I've seen stuff like this happen in the NFL, and we know players can say one thing to the agent and get emotional and all of a sudden go off the radar a little bit and go off the grid. I wouldn't be shocked here, right? So, this is a tough one. It's a close-knit family up there in Buffalo. They don't let a lot out all the time there. And this is rare, and they're kind of in damage control right now and trying to figure this out, and we all are, because we're all a little bit like, back to the original thing of what you said. Stefon Diggs, I understand you want to win and catch the ball and be the man and all that, but at the end of the day, what is there to be that mad about? There's obviously something, but if I'm a guy like me, I want to go, wait, you're playing with one of the best quarterbacks in football. They feed you ball a ton. I mean, you're one of the top receivers in the game. They gave you a new contract last year, right? So that to me means there's something personal, a messaging and all that, and that's what I've been trying to dissect, but, I haven't got answers from people, and everybody's kind of trying to figure this thing out right now.
And that's the obligation of the Bills when they trade for Stefon Diggs. You need to get to the bottom of the rabbit hole as to why he wanted out of Minnesota. He was heralded there. They would have made a statue of him catching the Minneapolis Miracle and put it at the airport if he had finished his career there. Hell, they still might anyways one of these days.
Yeah.
But they loved him there.
Right.
They wanted him there. They had paid him in Minnesota. Why did he want out? I need to know exactly why. We need to have this conversation. Steph, before we do this, just help us understand. We're not going to tell anybody. This is right here, trust tree. We just need to understand what happened before we go forward, because you know what? Frankly, we want to make sure we don't make the same mistakes. We want to learn from their mistakes. They've fractured the relationship with you. We never want to accidentally do that. So help us understand what the issue was and is so that we can have a positive relationship and be sensitive to whatever it is that you want and what you need. That's the easy way to do it.
I
now,
wouldn't be shocked if they did
know.
it. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. I wouldn't be shocked, or at least got some version of that. I don't think that's crazy.
It all happened so fast.
It happened fast, but
fast.
It's a good player, and you get the answers they want, and that's it. And to your point, with anybody you talk to in the league, they all kind of feel like you do, and what you were joking about a minute ago, that he didn't see, the promise or the glory, the light at the end of the tunnel with Kirk Cousins. He wanted out. He went, wait, I think this is like as good as we can be here or whatever, and he wanted more. I think there's a lot of people in football that feel that way.
So now what the Bills have to figure out, without any direct input from Stefon Diggs, is what the hell happened, what's he upset about, and how do we fix it? People are assuming it's not contractual because he got a new deal last year, which he deserved.
Definitely.
And reasonably, now we are in the realm of the unreasonable, so reasonable thought may not always apply. Maybe he does want a new deal. We don't know what he wants because he isn't telling anyone publicly, and for all we know privately, what he wants. There hasn't been a single report as to what he is truly upset about. I think Tyler Dunn of GoLongTD.com is suggesting it's about the offense. It's about Ken Dorsey. It's about X's and O's. But I haven't seen that anywhere else. Whatever it is, we don't know what it is. And hey, concerns with the offense, far more plausible than concerns with his money because he got his contract last year. So there's something, whether it's the quality of the supporting cast, whether he has lost faith in Josh Allen the same way he lost faith in Kirk Cousins, that's possible. That's possible.
I don't know how that could be possible.
Josh was the guy. Maybe he's not the guy.
I mean,
maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Look, Chris, it's one thing to look at the guy's skills. We don't know what kind of a leader he is or isn't. We don't know what he's doing behind the scenes to get the most out of the team.
I know. I just have heard from. Well, I've heard from a ton of people, the people I trust. I mean, I've been up there.
What about from Stefon Diggs?
Well, okay.
What about from Diggs?
I know. Well,
I mean, we don't know. I'm just saying.
I know.
We don't know.
Right.
Something caused him to do this in Josh Allen's face in the sidelines of the last game of the series, making sure I don't have sweaty pits today. So I think I'm clear.
You're good.
But it's a little hot up here. But anyway, we don't know what Stefon Diggs is thinking. The challenge for the Bills right now is to figure out how to diagnose this problem. And if he isn't going to talk, if he isn't going to be there, like, what do you do? And at a certain point, if you're the Bills, if the guy isn't going to tell you what's wrong,
right,
and he isn't going to be there, you either got to play hardball with him and start finding him into oblivion, or you just got to say, we're done, we're out, we're over, we'll trade him. Who wants him? Who wants him? Let's go. Let's move on. If he don't want to be here, we want volunteers, not hostages.
Right.
At some point, the Mike Tomlin line has to be uttered, or it undermines your entire organization.
Yeah, definitely.
It weighs down the whole team. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.